record on this computer, that's important. Live on Facebook, that's important. What's not important is sleep. Just kidding. It's very important. In an event, 7 tips. Whoops. Oh crap, there's two events. Uh-oh. We'll see if it goes in the right spot. Oh, no, not that one. What the frick, I'm a stick. Gotta love technology, eh? Gotta love it. Okay, screen, you still see my screen? Yeah? Okay, thank you. Thank you, thank you. So I'm gonna attempt one more time to go back on live on Facebook once again in what might be the other group or the other event. I don't know, whatever. Figure it out. I won't lose any sleep over it. Get it? Yeah, I'm funny. Okay, I can't post in these groups. I give up. So I'll just, I'm gonna try one more time in a different group. So present. Once again, Nicole, you see me in the right thing, correct? Yeah, okay, good, thank you. So I'm gonna try one more time. Now that I'm 2 minutes late, this time I might lose sleep over it because I'm getting stressed out here. And stress is very important. In a group, Body Max Success Coaching. All the cool people belong to this group. I hope you're all in it. I'm like thankful, doing a thankful dance. You guys are so patient. It's so weird. I don't even know if you're like hearing me or if I'm just talking to myself or what, but it's cool. Yeah, okay, thanks.
Oh, we hear you.
Not sure I want to, but I hear you. Okay, I'm live somewhere. So I think that's pretty cool. The fact that I'm live somewhere. Where I'm live, I don't know. All right. So, oh my goodness gracious, Gregory. So how many of you, raise your hand if you would like to have better sleep? Would you like to sleep better? Of course you would. We all want to sleep like this child who just sleeps 7, 8, 10, 12 hours and doesn't wake up to pee, and it's just awesomeness, right? We all want pure, awesome sleep. So what I want to do first in this is first acknowledge you for being here. This webinar I put together, we're going to have probably 2 to 3 webinars every single month as our 2021 education sessions. So that's Roxanne and I have put together a bunch of webinars covering all kinds of wellness aspects. Most of Roxanne's going to cover the Ayurveda side of things, whereas mine are going to cover anything in the terms of wellness, so fitness, mindset, nutrition as well, sleep, all kinds of stuff, okay? So this one here is 7 tools to have the best sleep, ... ever, ... What a wonderful feeling. All right, so, but first I want to do what all the traditional media does, and is scare the living crap out of you so that you actually take action, which is totally unfair, but I'm going to do it anyways. So here's some of the facts. And some of these you might have known, some of these you might be like, are shocking to you. Lack of sleep consequences. Well, 1, decreased productivity, and that's no fun. You ever have a really shitty night's sleep and all of a sudden your productivity for the day is brutal? Yeah, me too. Decreased resiliency, so the ability to actually adapt to something. So if you have a really bad sleep, you might find that you're more reactive to things. You have difficulty managing your emotions. I want to see you guys. Like, just give me like thumbs up if you experience these things. So if you've experienced decreased productivity when you have really crappy sleep, or if you find that you're not as adaptive to situations when you have a really bad sleep. So you're more emotional, maybe. You don't have that emotional stability. Less than 6 hours of sleep may increase your risk of a virus or an illness by 50%. That's a lot. That's a lot. Like imagine like you don't get a good night's sleep and therefore you're putting your immune system at risk by 50% more. And with COVID going on right now too, an immune system, a healthy, strong immune system is very, very, very important. A cumulative, you read the word, I'm not reading it, sleep debt of 24 hours is the equivalent of 0.1 blood alcohol level. The drinking level is 0.05. That's 0.95 higher. That's crazy. Like you can't drive legally after 0.05, which is like what, 2 drinks sometimes, depending on what you're having and how long you're waiting and all that stuff. But if you don't sleep for 24 hours, not in like, that's cumulative over the course of like 5 or 7 days. So if you're like super stressed and you're not sleeping at all, your blood alcohol level is actually that much higher than if you were to have a couple of drinks. Is that scary a little bit? Like that's concerning. That's concerning to think that our reaction time is like massively impacted simply because we didn't sleep. So a little bit more fear mongering coming up, just because, because I can. Yeah, so look at that. Lack of sleep causes 20% of all car accidents because we're just not able to pay attention. 27% more likely to gain weight with 6 hours of sleep. That's scary because that's something we all are fearful of, right? We're all in fear of gaining weight. 73% more likely to gain weight with 5 hours of sleep. Holy crap, that went from 27 to 73%. Clearly, I haven't looked at these diagrams before I put them in here. Otherwise, I would have been less shocked. But, And then you're 10 times, I'm leaning in to read it, 10 times more risk of developing depression from lack of sleep. And it's, in fact, you're going to see a one that comes up soon that says 1 in 4. Anyways, I don't remember exactly. So I'm just going to pretend I didn't say that. So you can read all this stuff on the side here, like the facts about sleep. It helps you manage stress. It's natural for a teenager to not be able to fall asleep before 11 p.m. How many of you have teenagers or have gone through that as a teenager, even if you don't have teenagers? Like, how many of us or how many teenagers are on their phone at 11 p.m.? Like, I'm way in bed by 11 p.m., but are on their phone at night, on their blue light, getting all these different crappiness stuff coming in at 11 p.m. A lot, right? This is all about teenagers, apparently. Like, that was so long ago. Consequences, lack of sleep, as you know, limit your ability to learn and remember information. When you have a really crappy night's sleep, the next morning, you have trouble focusing. You have trouble remembering, what did my boss tell me to do? And then your boss says something and you get mad at them. Or you get mad at yourself, right? We don't have as much emotional regularity. Driving sleep deprived is equivalent to driving with a blood alcohol content of 0.08, 0.05 being the legal limit. So think about that. That's crazy. And yeah, moving on. Because like I said, I didn't pay attention to these slides. Cell phone radiation causes insomnia. Okay, yet how many of us have our phone right beside us in bed? Guilty. All right, so that's something I'm definitely working on. And it's one of the things we'll talk about tonight. But using your phone before bed can prevent you from getting sleep. Duh. I'm almost done with the fear mongering. Who drinks coffee at night? Any of you? No? Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for not drinking coffee at night. Coffee has a half shelf life of 6 hours. So if you drink coffee after 2 p.m., it may not affect your ability to fall asleep, but your quality of sleep is massively impacted. So drinking coffee before bed delays your internal body clock by 40 minutes, which you might be thinking, it's 40 minutes, I get 8 hours of sleep. That 40 minutes is absolutely crucial because you're probably not reaching a quality level of sleep, like the REM sleep. And then look at this thing over here. I can't see it because my peeps are there, but people who sleep less than 7 hours each night are 12% more likely to die prematurely. I don't know what to say. It's, yeah, not cool. That's the best response I have to that one. What is prematurely? I don't know. But either way, you know that you want good sleep. And then there's just a couple more. Like apparently a bed can go 69 miles per hour. It's a mobile bed. I don't get it. What's pretty cool to me though in this one is that 16% of employers in the United States provide a napping area for workers. That's kind of cool. Like, would you like to have a napping area in your workplace? Wouldn't that be kind of neat? I think that'd be kind of neat if you could just like take your break, take 20 minutes. You don't get into REM sleep. You don't get into a deep sleep, but you nap and it regenerizes you, reinvigorates you. That's kind of cool. So yeah. And then there we go. 3/4 of those who suffer from depression also suffer from a lack of sleep. What does that tell you about sleep? How important is sleep? If 3/4 of people who suffer from depression, they also suffer from a lack of sleep. It means without sleep, we don't have that emotional stability. We can't possibly live and express and be able to manage what's going on without sleep. All right. So I am done with the fear mongering and I'm going to give you very simple tools. So if you have a pen and paper and you are someone who wants to sleep like this baby, then getting a pen and paper out might be a smart idea. But again, if you don't want to sleep like the baby, then don't get out the paper. That's okay. That's cool. So tip number 1 is getting into a cycle. This is research by Michael Bruce, so you can go do your own research around it too and check him out. Go to YouTube, watch a couple of videos, whatever. The most important thing isn't necessarily the time you go to bed, but the time you wake up. So go to bed at the same time as best you can and see what time you wake up without an alarm to see what time your natural sleeping time. Maybe like if you have to be up and get to work at 7, it might be more difficult to kind of get the structure going a little bit with that kind of thing. If you're retired or don't have a consistent job where you have to go at a certain time, then maybe you could play around with this. But if you can't do that yet, that's okay. Main thing here is to wake up at the same time, regardless of the time you go to bed. So if you go to bed normally at 10 p.m. and you naturally wake up at 5 a.m., then you found your ideal hours of sleep. But if you, say, for example, on Friday night, you stay up later, still get up at 5 a.m. Now you might be thinking like, holy crap, Greg, why? Why would I do that? Well, it's to get into that circadian rhythm of your body, that natural rhythm of your body, right? You could probably think about little kids. They always wake up at the same time, no matter what, their body is just naturally waking up at the same time because it's getting into that circadian rhythm. So we all good with that one? Cool. So your sleep cycle, try to get the circadian rhythm system going. Okay, tool number 2, obviously, nutrition. Do we eat coffee? Do we drink coffee right before bed? No. Should we be eating food right before bed? No. We want to have an ideal window of 3 hours between our last meal, our last bit of food, and the time we go to bed. So if you go to bed at 10 p.m., then your last bit of food would be 7 p.m. at the very latest. Okay. So we're going to look at 2 things here. I talked about food. We're going to look at caffeine and alcohol. Caffeine, avoid past 2 p.m. because after 6 hours of consuming caffeine, you've only dumped half of the caffeine out of your system. Decaf is okay, but be mindful of that kind of thing still. So alcohol, if you want to sleep well, don't drink alcohol at all. Now you might be thinking like, but it's alcohol. 1 glass per hour, ideally before 8 p.m. with an 11 p.m. bedtime. So what did I say about food being, say you go to bed at 10, you don't eat, or you don't drink, you don't eat after 7 p.m. The same applies for alcohol, the exact same thing. It works exactly the same in the body as what food does. So does anybody have any questions at all about caffeine, alcohol, or food? Anything? No? Pretty clear? Who here struggles with that? With caffeine, alcohol, or food 3 hours, like stopping it 3 hours before bed? Anybody? Me? Sometimes? Yeah, okay. It's okay.
Depends on what night it is, Greg.
Pardon?
Depends on what night it is. Like if you have company coming over, then it's tougher to
For sure.
manage the food part. Yeah.
Yeah. So then what you kind of do there too, and this is something that you could totally do, is go back to the sleep cycles and still wake up at the same time. But let's say you have friends over and you, like, I know it's COVID times, but whatever. Like you have friends over till 9 p.m. and your last thing's at 9 p.m. Well, try to stay up till midnight, but still wake up at 6 a.m. Right? Because really all the research is behind that 3-hour time frame before you go to bed because of how your body resets in that sleeping thing. So it might be like you're going to stay up later, you're going to get up at the same time. You might get that effect during the day. However, that consistency of waking up at the same time is going to reset your body and your body will naturally adapt to it. So just a thought, right? It's something that you can definitely test out. That for me, that'd be tough. For me, that would be tough because I'm literally hit my head to the pillow and I'm done. So for me to stay up till midnight, even on New Year's Eve, is insane. Moving on. We know tool number 3, exercise. When do you think it's the best time to exercise is? What would you guess? Would you guess morning, afternoon, night? What's your guess? So you can unmute yourself if you want, or you can just do like morning.
Morning.
Morning?
Morning.
Okay. Nicole, are you going to agree with the morning or are you going to say something different?
What's
I
new
have
with your
morning in my head, but I don't know. I think it's later.
Cool. Nice.
I don't like exercising in the morning, but
Cool. I like it. So yeah, the answer is morning. So the answer is morning for a couple of reasons. But before I get there, ins and outs of exercise, all you really need is 20 to 25 minutes where your heart rate comes up. We don't need these crazy 1 hour, 2 hour workouts. In fact, you want to avoid exercise 2 to 3 hours before bed, much like food, right? You think about exercise. What does exercise do? After you do a workout, how do you feel? You're like, you've done a crazy cardio workout and you're energized, right? You have this energy. Do you want energy before you go to bed? No. You want to decompress. That's why we have a hot bath at night, is to decompress. So we actually have between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. is when we have the most amount of good cortisol, good stress in our body. So when we exercise at that time, we actually up-level our day. We get more out of our day by working out at that time of day. That time of day is, and if you could ask Roxanne around the Ayurveda side of things, like the energy systems of the day, when we exercise in the morning, it's better. So if you exercise at night, that's cool. That's awesome, right? Like if you come to a Body Max class, it's at 5:45 till 6:30, for example. You're probably going to bed at 9:30, 10 anyways, so you're good. There's your 2 to 3 hours, right? But what I would encourage you to do as well is even do a Tabata in the morning between 6 and 9 a.m. because that's when your body is most apt to benefit from it, right? The whole idea is the sun comes up, right? We do our workout, we're busy all day. When the sun's coming down, that's our body's natural time to come down with it, right? But we have the phones that get us all distracted and stuff. So yeah, exercise. Everybody agrees that exercise is super important for sleep? Good. And if you don't, go home, or you are home. All right, so let's talk about light. This dude looks very comfortable. So hopefully you all sleep like that. All things light. I'll be brief with this one. So sunlight, white light, blue light. How many of you, there's a spelling error, that's cool. How many of you get sunlight first thing in the morning on purpose? Yes, no? Cool. Between 6:30 a.m. and 8:30 a.m. is the best time to get your sunlight. And the vitamin D is actually going to penetrate you the most. It's the best. You're going to decrease your cortisol, your stress hormone. And because it says cortisol in the morning is a good thing when I talk about exercise, but cortisol at night is a bad thing. So the more that you get your stress at night, the harder it's going to be on your body. When you eat, you're actually raising your cortisol. You're raising your stress hormone because your body has to work, right? When you're drinking alcohol at night, your body has to process it. That's hard on your body. When you exercise late at night, when you're exercising, you're actually increasing the cortisol in your body, the stress hormone, in a good way, but at night is going to put a challenge on your body to decompress. Does that make sense, everybody? So that's where sunlight's important. Get your sunlight early in the morning. And I'm just going to mute them there. But yeah, you want to be mindful of that. Okay, so then we talk about blue light. Blue light is essentially coffee for the brain. Example, TV, phone screens. The hardest thing for all of us, I will probably, the majority of you watching, you're going to agree with this, that it's really tough to limit the amount of screen time once the sun comes down. Yes? I mean, the sun is down right now and we're all watching each other. So we're all getting blue light. The same rule applies with exercise, with nutrition, with all that stuff, is minimize it before bed as best you can. So if you could spend an hour, say you go to bed at 10, all the blue light, all the screen time goes away at 9 p.m. if you go to bed at 10. Give yourself some time to decompress, read a book, right? Be in that softer light, just in that time. So biggest struggle for me, guaranteed. Biggest thing. You? Is that tough? Yeah, okay, cool. Good. As long as we know it's tough. As long as we know and we work on it piece by piece. So I mean, maybe that's like, don't use your phone as an alarm clock, or throw your phone across the room so that you have to physically like get up out of your bed if you want to go check Facebook type thing, right? Set yourself up for success. And I could give you ideas around that, but ultimately, you know that it's not that hard to implement. It's just, it's easy to implement. No, it's simple to implement. It's easy to follow through on. No, it's simple to implement. It's hard to follow through on. That's the wording I'm looking for. So tool number 5 is strategic stopping. I'm thinking, what the heck is strategic stopping? This has to do with your day. Okay, so how many of you are actually stop during the day and take a second to breathe? Like consciously breathe. Like be like, you actually go through your day and you're like, okay, hold on. Shit's happening. Shit's hitting the fan. I need to take a break, a breath break, right? So when stress arises, taking a breathing break, and the same goes for your bedtime routine. When you go to bed, there's actually breathing techniques that will calm you down. Do you know any of them? Maybe you can read. So you can do like 2 seconds in, so 4 seconds out. So if you did that just once, you probably felt like this release of pressure. Did you feel that? Try that. Okay, So let's do it together. Okay, so let's do 5 of them. It says 10, but that's okay. So we're gonna do 2 seconds in, hold for 2, out for 4, and then hold for 2, and then repeat it. So 3 times. Okay, so inhale, exhale. So how do you feel? Feel a little bit of like a, yeah, okay. So you could do the exact same thing in the opposite way. Let's say you're feeling tired. Well, in that case, you would extend your inhale and slow your exhale. So it'd be more like, say you want to get more energy, right? You're gonna go, hold on. Inhale longer. Yeah, so inhale longer. And you'll notice a difference in your alertness just by doing that. So it's the exact opposite, right? If you want to be more calm, you want to have a longer exhale. If you want to bring more alertness, so when you're feeling fatigued, then you want to have a longer inhale and a shorter exhale. Cool? So just spend some time, because you're not going to be looking at your screen tonight as you go to bed. Spend some time breathing instead. And if your significant other, they're like, what the hell are you doing? Do it anyways. They're like, join me. We're going to breathe together. We're going to have fun together. And if they still laugh at you, then make them sleep on the couch.
Yeah.
Attention. So yeah, so you could also, strategic stopping is in your breath, but it's also in your movement. So get outside, go for a walk. One of the most common things is if you're like, want to work on a project, do 50 minutes, take a 10-minute break, and that'll completely reset you for the next 50 minutes versus trying to go hard for 3 hours, getting an hour and 15 minutes in and being like, ooh, spider. Because you're literally chasing a spider or a cloud or a unicorn, whatever. You get it. All right. Moving on. I'm starting to get a little bit wonky here. So tool number 6 is our environment. Yeah. Okay, so in terms of your environment, it's your room, right? Do you think it's better to sleep in a cooler room or a warmer room? What's your guess? What do you think?
Cool.
Cooler.
Cooler.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So the best temperature for your room, they said it's 60 to 67, but I was like, I don't believe that. I think it'd be more like 58 area, like actual cooler, right? And then use your blankets for your warmth. But your face should be in a cooler environment. So well done. You all win $1. Just kidding. So the environment is music, temperature, blue light, hot bath, lavender. The music, any of you play music when you go to bed? Yeah. The best hertz, so frequency, is 432 hertz or 60 beats per minute. So it's pretty calm, right? You wouldn't listen to a workout playlist that's 120 or 150 BPM and try to sleep because you're going to be like, not good. We want you to actually sleep. We want you to reach a deeper state of sleep. We want you to get into REM sleep much quicker. There you go. Temperature, 21 degrees. I'm assuming that's Celsius, not Fahrenheit, because that would be wonky cold. So anybody know what 21 degrees Fahrenheit or what Celsius to Fahrenheit is? Anybody? Me neither. Okay. Colors. What colors are your bedroom? Cool.
Grayish.
What? Grayish?
Grayish. Grays and beiges.
You know what? I have no idea what color my bedroom is. Like none. I think mine is like grayish as well, but it might be grue, like gray and blue. I really don't know what room what color my room is. Anyways, a bedroom is typically a calming color. Okay, so whatever that means, I don't know exactly. Who puts white noise on? So who has a fan going? Anybody? No. That's just a way to kind of relax ourselves. Is that calming thing?
I used to put a fan on, but then I found that in the morning I would feel like my eyes were swollen.
Okay. Yeah, and maybe
So
yeah, that's so. I don't really have anything to respond to that, other than
yeah.
what works for you and what doesn't, right? So blue light removal, hot bath 60 minutes before bed, and then I also put cold shower in there. But yeah, I mean,
Okay.
ultimately the whole idea around this hot bath and cold shower idea is to just for your melatonin regulation and relaxation. So just to calm your body down from the stress of the day, from the go of the day, right? And then anybody use a diffuser at all in their bedroom? No? Okay, that's cool. So there's a lot of different essential oils that you could use, but lavender on your pillow is said to be a very, very good one. I don't do it, but yeah, it's up to you. The whole idea around this chat is that just pick one thing and work on that for a week, right? One thing. And then you'll start to compound it as you go. We try to do all 7 tips at once. We might be good for a day or 2, and then we forget and we stop, right? So that's not cool. That's not what we're going for. We're going for building a system that works. So pick one thing and do it. So final tool is actually your relationship to sleep. Now you might be thinking like, well, I'm not married to my sleep, but maybe you should be. Relation to the sleep. What do you think about sleep? Do you prioritize it? Is it important to you? Or is it just like the time between one day to the next? Like how important on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being super duper important. So tell me and use your fingers, how important is sleep to you? It's like, we're like this, we're like, I don't know. Like, what do I do? Okay, cool. 3 and 4. Okay, cool. And then Carol left. So I'm assuming hers is 700. But yeah, so like maybe try this tonight. Write on a piece of paper what sleep means to you. Like how important is sleep truly? If you think about it, based on what you've learned already today in our 33 minutes together, what have you learned about sleep and how important is it to you? There's some things you can do if you have a very Vata mind. So like me, I'm very squirrel brain. I have a lot of thoughts in my head. Thankfully, I sleep well. However, if I didn't, the first thing I would probably do is I'd be writing down all my thoughts of the day, right? Because if we're just thinking and thinking and thinking and we can't decompress, then all we're focused on is all of the stuff in our head, right? So journaling it down, unwinding the daily thoughts, writing down your worries, writing down what you want to do the next day, writing down the solutions so that your brain can process them during the sleep, right? Your brain is never, ever shuts down, ever. In fact, when you sleep, it takes everything from the day and conceptualizes it. It makes it become like a reality kind of thing, right? It's why you might have some funky dreams. That's just a processing. Maybe, I don't know for sure. I haven't really read those books, but that might be a processing of what you went through in your day, right? So do you prioritize sleep? I don't have time to sleep really means I am proud of the lack of my functionality. Right, really, right? You're like, I don't have time to sleep. Really? So you don't have time to breathe? You don't have time to drink water? You don't have time to eat? Like, to me, that's ridiculous. Is if we say we don't have time to sleep, you're basically saying, well, I enjoy living my life as though I'm drunk all the time. So yeah, do I have any more? Oh, I do I have a bonus one. 55% increase in fat loss with adequate Sleep. Is that like, yeah, woo? You mean if I sleep better, I can have less fat on my body? Heck yes. Yes, you can. So let's talk about that really briefly. Bonus, healthy weight will not happen with sleep deprivation. It won't, right? We're constantly like, why can't I lose weight? We would say things like that. And the first two questions I ask is, what's your stress level? And how well do you sleep? Those are my first two things. Versus like the exercise and the fitness. If you don't sleep and if you're stressed all the time, your body's going to hold on to it because it protects it, right? So healthy weight will not happen if you're sleep deprived. Work on your sleep and your life will start to shift in so many ways. You'll have so much more energy. It's so incredibly important. You do have time to sleep. Lack of sleep affects your mood, right? Lack of sleep lessens your ability to make sound decisions, resulting in decreased productivity, clarity, and focus. Wow, that sounded good, Greg. Well done. Lack of sleep results in an increased desire for trans fats, sugar, and salt. Yes? Yeah. How many of you have had a really crappy sleep and the next day you just have all these kind of cravings and urges? That's because you didn't sleep well. So your body's like, okay, well, give me something to fill the void, essentially. Right? That's crazy. God, that's such an awesome presentation, Greg. This sleep one I made a long time ago, and then I made a couple edits, and I never practiced these things before, so it's a lot of fun. So what do you think? What are you thinking? What are you at? Just give me your final thoughts, and all the people watching on Facebook and stuff, hello, and also good night. I'm gonna stop sharing for a second so that I can chat with you wonderful people. Yeah, so Nicole, Lynn, what are your thoughts?
Just anxious on trying it out to really focus on my sleep.
Cool.
If I find sleep well, but do I really like, yeah. So I'm anxious to try the small strategies that you've given us.
Cool. Think about like, you know how your day operates now, but imagine if you really had like amazing night's sleep, like for like a week in a row.
Mm-hmm.
What else could your day be? Like what amazing could be out there? And you can make a list of things like, this is what's going to happen when I sleep well. Like you don't know if they're going to be true or not, but at least you're setting that intention too in a way, right? Like I'm going to sleep like a baby tonight. Tell yourself that. And you know what? You're going to, because you're setting yourself up that way. Like if you say, every time I say this, I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. and I tell myself that, at 4:50, my brain goes, okay, we're on. Let's go. Let's do this.
Like clockwork. Yeah. It's
because you set yourself up for it, right? But if you don't set yourself up, you just go to bed, then you don't think about that, then you're not likely going to, there's no pattern. There's nothing for your brain to work on unless you give it something to work on, right? So yeah, it's awesome. So small little things like my big thing that I'm committed to working on this week is that phone is going on my desk or on my dresser, which is like 12 feet away from me. So I physically cannot look at it in the morning. I physically cannot look at it at night. And I have to literally get out of bed when the alarm goes off. I can't snooze, right? That's going to benefit my sleep, but it's also going to benefit how I show up in the morning. So that's my thing. Lynn?
Mine is turning my brain off at night. That's what prevents me from sleeping, is like my daily thoughts or things that are bothering me or do things that I want to do. So yes, I like that idea, to get it down on paper and then it's dealt with.
Yeah.
And then go to sleep.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you like do it for a few days and you might realize, holy crap, right? You could literally do it tonight and then you'll sleep better. And when you wake up and you slept better, you're like, wow, that was awesome. That felt really good.
I don't normally have trouble sleeping. I'm like you, I'm usually out, but at least once a week, if I miss that being out right away, then the thought starts, and then I can be up till 3 or 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, that totally happens. Totally happens. But at least you have some tools, right? At least you have some tools that you can use and see what works for you and what doesn't. And like I said too, it's not about taking all 7 things and implementing them tonight, because you'll do a couple days and then you won't. And you're actually going to build. You're not building self-trust with yourself, right? But if you do the small things, so if you commit to just doing the journaling, awesome. For Nicole, whatever you decide to do, I don't know if you chose one specific thing or not. I don't think so. Or maybe you will right now.
I think I'll focus on the breathing too.
Cool.
Just, yeah, with working from home and, just not getting that daily break, I think that the breathing part will help me.
Cool. So I don't know if either of you follow Roxanne on YouTube, but she has a lot of breathing videos. So a lot of like alternate nostril breathing, and she'll explain kind of the science behind it too. And then you'll realize like how beneficial it is. Like what I know about breathing is nothing compared to what Roxanne knows about breathing, about breath work. Okay. So like find her on YouTube and I can help you find her link and stuff. But she gives you different breathing techniques for different situations, essentially. Cool. All right. I guess it's 8:12 and I go to bed at 9. So I'm already breaking my own rules. That's okay because I'm spending time with you, so that's fun. And yeah, the next thing that we're going to be doing together, like the next event. Oh, okay, so today's the 18th. On the 24th at 7 p.m. is the 6 Tastes with Roxanne. So it's Discover the Ancient Secret. I have to burp a lot, I'm sorry. Discover the ancient secret of health through all 6 tastes. You will learn how to maximize your life with spices. What are the 6 tastes? Why consume all 6 at each meal? Easy ways to consume tastes. And spice blend recipes. So yeah, that one's gonna be pretty neat. I lost your thing there. So yeah, so are you ladies interested in that one?
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool. First and foremost, did you know that we have 6 tastes? Because I sure didn't. No. We always think about like sour and salty or whatever the heck they are, right? But there's things like astringent and pungent, which are words that I never knew until Roxanne introduced me to them. So it's actually really neat. And this Friday, she's doing a spice blend. So if you go in this success coaching group, we're actually going to make like a spice blend together. And that spice blend for me is like what Frank's Red Hot sauce is for some people. So I put that shit on everything. It's delicious. Like I don't know if you ladies have made it or tried it but there's like all kinds of spices that you never heard of. Like there's obviously cinnamon, but then there's like fenugreek and cardamom and things that we wouldn't normally think about, but are actually incredibly tasty and good for this time of year as well. So yeah. So Friday, don't forget about that. Friday, tomorrow night, you're making this spice blend together. And then February 24th, you're doing this 6 taste spice thing, which is next Wednesday, I believe. Yeah. I need a calendar. I need want to volunteer your time for an assistant? I can pay you a little bit, like $1 a day. Okay. All right. I'll see you later.
Thanks, Greg.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.